everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Brittany, and I'm the CEO of Pacific Fertility Centers of Los Angeles. We're about 15 to 20 minutes away from Los Angeles International Airport in California. I know that you guys have gotten a lot of information today and have been talked at a lot, so I'll just open this by saying any burning questions anyone has right now, we can start with that. If not, I can go into just an overview of our process and who we are, but just want to open up the floor to any questions first. No questions? Okay, great. So we specialize in third-party reproduction, and when I say that, I mean anyone using an egg donor and/or a surrogate. Typically what happens is we start with a complimentary Skype consultation with one of our physicians. That just is a good chance for you to ask questions, any medical questions, what you can expect during the process, what you can expect on the financial side. In terms of the financial side, our most popular package is our unlimited live birth guaranteed package, which is where you pay $45,800, and that gets you unlimited IVF until live birth. So no matter what happens, if you have, a surrogate who drops out, or you do an egg retrieval and you don't get good eggs, anything that happens, it's all included. No matter how many tries it takes, we cover the medications, anesthesia, absolutely everything. So that way you're avoiding any surprise expenses, no matter what comes up, throughout the journey, because there are surprises that do come up. Do you want anything on that? No. And then in terms of the medical process, so after you have your Skype consultation with one of our physicians, they're going to ask you probably to do a sperm test. And then once we get those results, you can just do an at-home test. I actually have some here if anyone wants one. This is a pretty standard process that other physicians from other clinics would probably recommend you do. So even if you do think you're going to go with another clinic, you're welcome to take one of our tests. And then after we get back the results of the sperm test, you're going to go through the process to actually start creating your embryos. We do have an in-house egg donation agency. We also have an in-house surrogacy agency. Typically what happens is we start with finding your egg donor. This could be through us. It could be through one of the many agencies that we work with. We work with all the top agencies, Circle, Growing Generations, all of them. So we're very comfortable with their processes and they with us. So we get you your egg donor. We start with embryos first because typically what happens is there is a bit of a wait before you find your surrogate. So we just want to get the embryos, get that going so that by the time you have your surrogate, we're all set to go right into transfer. So we'll get your egg donor, we will screen the donor. That's a pretty rigorous process. And then, like I said, our unlimited live birth plan covers everything that could come up. So if a donor doesn't pass or something comes up, you don't have to worry about additional costs. We screen the egg donor, and then we get her ready to create the eggs. We get her injections. She's connected with a concierge coordinator who's with her every step of the way and keeps you updated. So you always know what's happening. You'll have our doctor's cell phone number. You'll have your coordinator's cell phone number. So it is just a process where we like to really over communicate and make sure you guys know what's happening every step of the way because it can be pretty complicated. So we create the embryos. If you guys don't want to come all the way to Los Angeles, we do have ways to ship in sperm, or you can go to our partner in New York, leave sperm there. Depends whatever works best for you guys. We've seen it all. And then we create the embryos. We hold on to those until it's ready for screening. We screen the surrogate, and then we do the transfer after she does her injections, et cetera. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. Sure. There's probably about 5 or 6 things that really can affect your success rate along this journey, and I do think it's important to go with a clinic that does have a lot of third-party experience, as most of the ones here do. And one thing that there's not a lot of fanfare around, but I would encourage you to pay attention to is the laboratory at the clinic, because the embryologist really does affect success rates, as does the doctor's ability to screen and monitor the surrogate, the egg donor, and the coordination team's ability to execute on whatever the protocol is and make sure that everything's being followed, because there's so many parties involved that if one person screws up one small thing, you can ruin the whole cycle. And it is a bit of a process, and you want a clinic that has experience with that.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Okay, so we have 2 minutes left. Any questions? Yes.
Any hints regarding the costs? Any estimate? Any average?
The cost, so for egg donation, surrogacy, all of that?
Yeah.
So we have booklets up here, I think some of you already have this, that outlines the costs for every step of the journey. And it calls out hidden costs that might come up if certain things happen. So I welcome anyone who wants to see that to come up, and you can grab one of these books. But typically for surrogacy, it's between 98 to 144,000. Now that upper limit includes $35,000 for insurance. So that's pretty high. Again, it depends where your surrogate comes from, which state, et cetera. So that is the upper bound. And then for IVF, if you go with our unlimited IVF package, that's $45,800. No additional costs. That's guaranteed. And then for egg donation, you're typically looking at between $21,000 to $27,000, depending on what kind of donor you use. So if she's like a premium donor, proven donor, it can change, but that's probably a pretty good range.
One little additional question.
Yes.
So if we would go with you and you have egg donation and surrogacy internally, there's probably no need to have another agency.
Correct. Yeah, everything's done in-house with our team. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.